Welcome to the Frugal Fit Mom podcast. Today we are doing another real live budget breakdown, drowning in debt. Someone has submitted their family's budget. We are going to analyze it and give them as many tips as we can with the info that we have been given. So of course I have my husband Dave here today with me.
I'm just here for the good looks.
Oh my gosh. So what I did today is for the podcast on YouTube, I am also recording this via video so I can show numbers as well as talk about numbers. But to break it down real quick for you, this family submitted their situation on Instagram. So if you also would like to submit your family's budget, we will go over it anonymously, of course, but we can break down the numbers that you give us and do our best to give you tips based on our own personal experience, getting out of debt, and all of that jazz.
Okay.
And living on a budget, and etc.
These are some interesting numbers.
Okay, so let's talk about this family before we jump into the numbers. They are a family of three. It's a husband and wife and a 9-month-old baby.
Oh, young family.
And 2 dogs.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a young family. They have 1 small child who I suspect does not eat that much food.
Right.
Doesn't need that many clothes. Doesn't need driver's insurance. I'm just thinking of a lot of the heavy expenses that we pay for right now. Probably doesn't need braces. What else you got?
Yeah, it'd be cheaper to go back there.
Sports activities. I mean, if I only knew. But you definitely have like diapers, perhaps formula, things like that. And then they have 2 dogs. Their main goal is to pay off the student loans and save more. That's kind of an arbitrary, but that was in there.
Save more.
Save more. And they live in Utah.
Okay.
So I don't know which part of Utah, but I am familiar with cost of living and home prices in Utah. So let's go over the numbers. Here we have them on the whiteboard. The income is $4,300 a month. Based on what I know about income and health insurance that's taken out in a standard job, taxes that you have to pay, the way you file taxes, other like 401ks, retirement, whatevers, that sort of thing. I suspect that this income is probably $80,000 a year.
So this is their take home per month.
This is their take home.
Okay.
Isn't it amazing that $80,000 a year, which I would have always thought was a pretty great income, breaks down to what we are about to talk about.
In the last several years, it started to feel like a lot less.
Yeah, yeah, you make a great point. I think 3 years ago, 80,000 would have been fantastic. Here in 2022, moving into 2023, not so fantastic.
When eggs are $4 a dozen.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to throw up in my mouth. Okay. The income is $4,300 a month, and right off the bat, their mortgage is $1,675. Now, can I just say, $1,675 for a mortgage payment, I'm assuming is PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, all wrapped into one,
right,
is not that bad.
But is this right? It's 39% of their income?
That's the problem. It is 39% of their income.
Of their take home?
Of their take home.
Wow.
You got that right. That is higher than I prefer. I've done like 33% of our income before, and that was way tight.
Yeah.
Way tight. 25% is kind of the standard recommended, so you could do other financial goals. So we are way out of ratio here. I would say the only time that doesn't apply is if you're high income, because you have more wiggle room.
Right.
Right? But I don't think that's the case here. I also want to point out, if we jump down to utilities for the house is $215 a month. If you add that to the mortgage, we are now spending 44% of their take home on their house.
Wow.
And that, my friend, is unsustainable.
Yeah, when almost half your income's going to your...
Almost half.
Your housing shelter situation.
So there's a couple things I could say about this, because I think that that's the glaring issue. I don't have good answers based on what I'm seeing here.
No, because when you look at the mortgage itself, $1,675 is not astronomical.
No, that's totally good. I think that's good.
Especially when you think about what the prices of homes are in Utah, which we've looked at a little bit here and there. That's probably not an extravagant home. They're not living this lavish lifestyle, but it might just be a little bit above their means at this current time.
So I don't know how big their house is. I don't know if it's a townhouse. I don't know if it's old. I don't know where it's located. I suspect, based on the information I received, that the wife is a stay-at-home mom of the baby. So there's some options there because she has a little wiggle room. I don't know what the husband does for work. So I'm not sure what his hours are. Here are some options because this 44%, unsustainable. So option number one is the income has to go up. And I hate to say that.
No, hang on. They're a young couple and somebody gave us this advice and somebody may have given them this advice as well.
Right.
Which is you're going to grow into your house.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
Like he's probably young, moving up. He probably will be increasing his income in the very near future.
You make a good point.
But currently with the numbers,
this is tight.
It's going to be tight.
This is very tight. And this is why. The house is why. The house isn't why. It's the house to income ratio is why.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I'm going to say we need to up the income. And I don't know what that looks like. It could be she babysits a second kid. It might be he has some spare time on the weekends and he does a side hustle. Maybe they start a business. Maybe one of them tutors in their spare time. Maybe he is on a career growth trajectory.
Yeah.
Anyway, and next year looks totally different than this year. It could be anything, but that's number one, the most glaringly thing. Another option is house hacking, which I wouldn't recommend in all situations. But it is something people are doing right now.
Yeah.
For example, we have a family member that rents out two bedrooms to college students, like private bedroom, shared bath, minimal kitchen space. It's like a hot plate, a microwave, and a mini fridge for a certain dollar amount per month. That's an option.
It works for them.
I know people do it. So I'm going to throw that out there as an option because this is hard right here. Okay, let's hit up food, groceries, $600 a month. For 2 adults and a 9-month-old baby.
You could cut that.
That would be so easy to cut.
Yeah.
I feel like that's super high for, I don't know what they eat. I don't know if they have allergies, but.
What do you think? By $200 a month? Like take it down to 4?
Yes. 400, we've saved $200 right there. Boom, with no effort. What does that look like? What does a cut like that look like? In my opinion, you stop buying chips. People always get mad at me because I go after the chips. You're not buying Gatorade. You're not buying soda. You're not buying chips.
You're buying ingredients. You're not buying prepackaged foods.
Exactly. And the best thing is if the wife is a stay-at-home mom, this is your domain. You've got the time.
This is how you use teamwork together.
Yes.
To make your goals.
Yeah, it totally is. You may have to buy fewer eggs right now.
May have to buy a little more rice and beans.
You may have to buy more rice and beans. You may have to stick with simple meals. You're not having like a surf and turf with a brie cheese board, right? I'm saying we're eating differently.
We're just going to eat a little bit more modestly.
Yeah, exactly.
And remember, these are all short-term things for longer-term goals.
Right. So if we are on a career growth trajectory here, and the income will go up, then yeah, this is a temporary. Do it for a year, and then we reevaluate.
Yeah.
This is something that's easy to go back and spend more if you want to. This is household expenses. I would consider that like toilet paper, cleaning products.
$100 is probably about right.
Yeah, that's probably about right. It feels a touch high for a family that small, but I'm not gonna get mad over that. Utilities, can't really do much about that. Pets is 100. Wait, is it more than that? I may have written that down wrong.
That's probably pretty close. With 2 dogs?
I'm gonna double check my pets. No, it's 120.
120.
Yeah, pets is 120. So we're looking at $120 a month on, I'm assuming it's pet food, mostly.
Probably.
That feels like a lot. And she said medium dogs. Can I just say, I have a medium dog. My medium dog is 50 pounds. My medium dog can also run 10 miles and loves to do that.
And loves to often.
So I would say she's a high energy 50-pound dog. And I don't spend near even half that on food. I would probably buy one huge bag from Costco, which is about $30. Might be $35 now. $35 for the month. So if you did 2 of those, that's a little less. That's like 70, not 120.
This one's such a hard one because I know there are people that absolutely love their pets.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
I love my pet.
Yes.
I love our pets.
Yes.
I should say.
Yes.
But the other one doesn't consider me his.
No. Speedy really is anti-men.
Yeah. But I gotta say, when you're in, I'm looking at this number.
I know, we're not even there yet.
We're not even at the student loan number, but when you're in that much debt with student loans, pets are...
They're an accessory. That sounds super mean to say that.
I know.
But it's...
We're talking about protecting your family and your family's income. This may not be the right time for pets.
Yeah, this is so tight right now. Maybe just consider it.
It's just something to think about.
Maybe you like one more than the other.
$120 a month is $1,000 a year plus.
Yes, it is. So we'll leave it for now. Car gas is $300 a month. I don't know what you're going to do about that right now. So that's fine. Car maintenance, $50 a month. That feels fine to me. You do need to save up for like some new tires, oil change here and there, whatever. Phone, $130 a month. I'm assuming just 2 phones. This feels high to me, especially for Utah.
There's ways to cut it.
There is ways to cut this. How many times have I mentioned Mint Mobile at $15 a month per line? And Utah gets great service for Mint Mobile. I'm just throwing that out there. That's $30 a month.
Yeah.
Instead of $130, like we just saved $100.
You got to try to figure out a way to cut that to $60 to $70 for the 2 phones together.
No, $30 for the 2 phones.
I'm just saying, at the bare minimum, you should be able to cut off at least $60 off of that.
Yeah, minimum half-seas. I say switch to Mint Mobile, keep your own phone numbers. You're at $30 a month instead of $130. That's a major cut.
Yeah.
Internet's $30. I don't know where they are getting internet for $30, but I want their number.
Yeah, because ours is a lot more.
Ours is not $30. I don't even think that's an option where we live. The cheapest is $50. Like that's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Subscription services, $20. I have no problem with that. Car insurance, $111. You got to have that, so that's fine. Other insurances like life, etc., $39. Okay. Food storage, $50. Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, especially with their food bill at $600.
Yeah.
I'm going to temporarily cut that. Here's why. You can do easy food storage at $20 a month, or you can cut it completely for a few months and then start again in a few months. I say right now that's not necessary. We have other issues.
Especially if you have an emergency fund.
Correct.
So you cut that in lieu of having an emergency fund.
Cut the food storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, miscellaneous, $50. That's like light bulbs, stamps, dry cleaning.
Right.
You know, it feels a touch high, but you know, whatever. Maybe that's diapers. Speaking of, where do diapers go on this list? They have a baby. Maybe miscellaneous is diapers.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Clothing, $50, fine. You could cut that for a few months.
Yeah, but that one's hard, especially if he's in certain businesses.
Let's assume he has a business wardrobe, and she can go to thrift stores for baby clothes.
You could cut it for a few months, but
Yes.
not for more than probably 6.
Well, yeah, 3 to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just cut that. Haircuts is $30, fine. Car payment $150. That feels pretty reasonable for a car payment. I don't love that as a concept, but $150 is pretty low.
They're not driving a Tesla at $150 a month.
No, they are not. And if they are, I'd like his number. Here's the big kahuna. The student loan balance is $142,000. Take a breath.
Ouch.
Breathe it in.
Holy cow.
Breathe it in. That makes me want to go lay down.
Based on that number, I'm thinking the potential income is there.
I'm hoping so.
Right? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping they're not
don't.
teachers. Sorry, this is coming from a teacher.
Yeah, I really hope he's not a teacher, because that's going to be a long road.
Like dentist or some kind of doctor.
At 142, he's not a dentist. I know what that degree costs.
I know, that's usually 300 plus.
Listen, I have a few doctor friends and some dentist friends. That's not a doctor or a dentist.
I know, but it's got to be something.
Yeah.
Lawyer?
No, lawyer is also double that. Stop that. Listen, this could totally be an undergrad in women's studies. Now, probably not, because I'm assuming he's working and she's not. I'm assuming it's his. I don't actually know that. Let's pick a different one. This could be a history undergrad degree that they got student loans for every bit of it.
Okay. I don't know what it is, but
No,
that's
no,
way
no.
too much student loan debt. And I assume that the $380 a month is barely covering minimum payments.
I agree with you. Well, that is the minimum payment, but that can't cover.
Is it just covering interest? Is that paying down any principal?
I don't know what the interest is. This is all the info I have. Is the payment is $380, which doesn't feel like a ton compared to the $142, but your point being, at $142K, $380 a month is barely touching this.
Yeah, you need to be paying $1,000 or $2,000 a month.
Well, we're not even there yet, my friend. Okay, so what does this look like at the bottom of the list? So their total bills every month is $4,100 a month if they do, in fact, spend what is here.
Right.
If this is not fantasy budget. With a $4,300 a month income and $4,100 spend, they have $200 extra per month. So let's just say if they don't have an emergency fund, that $200 extra goes away real quick.
Yeah, you got to build the emergency fund first.
Yeah, so if they don't have...
How much? How much emergency fund?
The old one was $1,000, which I think is a good start. At $200 a month, that's going to take 5 months to get to $1,000. And that's soul sucking. Like, I feel like that's why you need an extra job.
Yeah.
You need to build that up right now. But if I could tell anyone, I would say you have to be able to live for a month, pay all your bills for a month. So what is that number? Their number is $4,100. They need $4,100.
In an emergency fund.
In an emergency fund that they don't touch.
You need 1 month's salary.
No, 1 month bills.
Oh, 1 month bills.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, 1 month of
which essentially
bills,
is their salary.
which is pretty dang close to their salary. So you make some good points, Dave. We made a few budget cuts here, so let's look at those. I saved $200 on the food budget. I saved $100 on the phone, and I cut food storage and clothes for another $100. That's $400 I added to their budget by those 4 cuts.
Right.
So
we're up to
now
$600 extra.
We're up to $600. Oh, that looks ugly. Okay, hang on. I have an eraser. There.
So $600 extra a month is not...
Now I'm at $600 extra instead of $200 extra per month.
Even at that still takes them 8, 9... How many months to get to your 43? To get to 41?
That's a good question. Let's calculate that out with Mr.
7 months? I used to math. 6 times 6 is $3,600. So they really need 7 or so months
It's 7, yes.
to save up
You are
their
right.
emergency fund.
It's 7 months, and that's still too long. Which is why I'm pushing the job a little bit here. Let's assume they have an emergency fund. Okay, now we just have $600 a month extra. What are we doing? I'm super curious to know what this car payment is, like the balance.
What the balance of the car payment
Yeah,
is.
because if we're only a few thousand, I might kick off the car payment.
Get rid of the car payment first. So you're using debt snowball.
I am.
We just need a win. We want to pay off the smallest loan first.
Correct. So we want to get rid of this car payment, and now our extra is $750 a month. Now we can throw it at the student loan. $750 a month. I haven't even brought in more income yet.
Right.
That's just budget cuts and paying off the car.
Right.
Could you imagine? You and I both taught online in our spare time. You worked a full-time job and taught online. Can you make $1,000 a month teaching online?
Yes.
Yes, you can. It's an option. It's a job option. There are real work-from-home jobs.
I've heard a lot of women that can make $1,000 a month watching kids in their home.
Oh, yeah.
So you increase this to $1,700 a month?
Woo! Now we are making a difference.
Now we can really start to throw down some money.
Yeah, for sure.
Buy down that student loan.
If our extra is $750 and the payment is $380, oh my gosh, that's a long time. That student loan is enormous. I just want to say, if you can avoid it at all costs, that would be really great. So, in theory, they could pay $1,100 a month off of the student loan. Since I just have a basic calculator and not like my computer calculator, you're looking at 129 months. That's still 11 years. Do you realize what we just did? We tripled the monthly payment, and it's still going to take 11 years to pay off this $142,000. I think my heart just skipped 5 beats.
Even if you can pay up to, let's say we can get it up to $2,000 a month that we're paying on the student loan.
Yeah.
That's still only $24,000 a year. Mm-hmm. That's still going to have us at like 5 or 6 years to pay that off. But that's where you want to be. If you think about this, your oldest child is then 6 or 7 going into kindergarten, first grade, and you're getting rid of all your student loans. And then you've got that $2,000 a month extra. You're going to need it then. Right? As those kids start to get into soccer and t-ball and baseball and volleyball.
It's not t-ball. It's travel volleyball. That's what it
But you're going to need that income when your kids get older. So the more you can do it now, you'll grow together as a couple and you'll be able to have that income that you're going to need when your kids need it. I can't say enough about like, this has got to go. You got to get the student loans.
And I would say let this example be a lesson to avoiding student loans at all costs. So maybe to finish up this podcast, we talk about strategies to avoid student loans. Let's just lay them out right now. Number 1, college choice. Your college choice is probably the number 1 factor into your fees, college education, what it's going to cost. I'm just for fun, since I'm from Texas, let's just look up tuition at A&M right now.
Usually, I bet you it's going to be $3,000 to $10,000 a semester.
You think so? In-state, $14,000 a semester.
The tuition is $14,000.
Did I do that right?
A semester?
That cannot be right.
That's probably got to be including housing and books and everything else. That's probably the cost.
Okay. On campus, tuition, $8,000, books, $14,000. Yeah, they're adding in some other stuff. Room and board, they're saying is $11,000.
Whew.
Transportation.
Okay, so that's one option. Another option is go to community college for your first 2 years.
Dude, I can't say enough good things about community college. The one I went to for a year in Dallas used to be called Richmond College. I think now it's called Dallas College or whatever. It's part of the community college in DFW. I just looked it up to see what the cost was right now. It's $800 for a full load. It's $800 a semester. $800.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
And all the textbooks are like online now. You don't even need to buy textbooks anymore. Remember when our textbooks were $500 every semester?
Our university is actively trying to create textbooks for students that are free.
Awesome. They were so expensive.
Open education resources are out there all over the place where students and teachers can actually use textbooks that have been put in the open domain and don't cost anything.
And we have a local community college. It's not local, it's kind of far. But we have a community college that's semi-local. They're way more than the Dallas one, but they're still sitting at about $2,000 a semester for a full load. You could take 18 credits at $2,000. And obviously, if you go community college, you're living at home.
Yeah.
So you could really make a dent based on college choice. Number 2, how about working? I worked before I went to college, saved up several $1,000s before I went. You? Yes?
I did too.
Yes, our kids are working right now and saving up money to go to college and pay for it because it's a lot of money.
I have a student in my class right now, I gotta tell you, he's designing landscapes and exterior spaces.
How come he won't come to my house?
On the side while he's a full-time student. So he's doing that at night.
Brilliant.
And I don't know what he's making, but he seems to be doing okay for himself.
That's brilliant.
So
that's kind of awesome.
I've heard all sorts of stories like that.
Did you work while you were in college?
I worked while I was in college and I worked off semesters.
Yeah, same here. What about scholarships?
There's tons out there. You actually, I think, made me apply for one that I got and I didn't think I would.
It was only like a $500 scholarship, but every one counts.
Yep.
And even when I was in college, I would talk to like a department chair and I'd be like, hey, are there any scholarships? And they're like, yeah, just fill out this 1-page form. You know, you can do it like twice. So I got a $500 scholarship like twice, back to back, just because I asked someone. Mm-hmm. So sometimes like Googling them isn't super helpful, but if you're already there, you can find stuff. What else?
This may be an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
But this is coming from a university professor.
Okay.
I can't really call myself a professor.
You are so.
I'm an adjunct.
Yeah,
and I'm an administrator.
You're a college professor. He teaches Spanish.
Listen, Mike Rowe does all sorts of scholarships for people to learn trades. And there is a lot of people. I have a roommate from college that dropped out of college and on his own business makes more money than I do. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
It is highly oversold that you have to have a college education.
Agree.
In 2022, there are so many trades out there that are absolutely looking for people. So don't feel like going to a university is your only option.
Dude, I agree with that 100%. Trades, I'm telling you, if let's say you're an electrician, okay? If you're an electrician and you show up when you say you're gonna show up and you do good work, you will be so busy. You will have more work than you could ever imagine. Do you know what the waiting time is on our favorite electrician that I like to hire? He's 2 weeks out. If I had an emergency, well, he might come because I know him, but if I was just to book, it would be a 2-week wait because he's that good.
I'm just saying, there's lots of options out there.
know.
It doesn't always have to be go to get a higher education.
It really doesn't. You know, my brother doesn't have a degree and he's kind of killing it at his job. So if you've got the skills, it doesn't matter what a piece of paper says about your degree. So I don't know. That's alternative compared to the way we were raised.
Right.
The way we were raised was like, you go to college or you're a deadbeat.
Yeah.
And it's just not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
The economy is different. There's definitely a different vibe, different opportunities, more opportunities than there ever were.
Yeah. That's about to die.
Okay.
So that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. And if you want to submit something, it's Frugal Fit Mom 6 on Instagram. Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.